friends, Bill here. How you doing? Hope you hear me okay. So I've been gone. You know what? Honestly, I cannot get Facebook. I cannot connect this app to Facebook. And so I just never really tried to get back on and do live. It'll go live to YouTube. And we finally got Facebook to give me some, get us connected. So here we are. Hey man, last couple of weeks I want to catch up with you. I want to talk about the Commonwealth Games and some other stuff, of course. Always look where this video is, where you see it posted. And there should be links to upcoming events, the Commonwealth Games, the Music City Grand Prix, Red, White, and Boom, and some other stuff going on. So the last couple of weeks we had a good time. Last week was the George Whitefield Summer Fellowship Conference. The week before was the inaugural SFOI Evangelist Boot Camp, which actually turned out pretty good. Let's talk about the boot camp first. The boot camp, as you've heard me say many times, or maybe hopefully did, would consist of three things. One, three things that really lay a foundation for us when you begin to evangelize. First is prayer. Second is knowing the Bible. Third is being physically fit to go out there and do the work. You know, the physically fit part, which was the really fun part. Fun might not be the right word, but the new unique part of the boot camp, you have to really be physically fit to get out there and persevere every day, 7, 8 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day. It's, you know, when you're preaching, this is really interesting to me, at least, is that you exert a lot of energy, spiritual energy, but it fatigues your body. And a lot of times what we do to go back to try to get our body energized again is that we eat, and eating doesn't energize the body. To really energize your body spiritually, you need to rest and come back and read the Bible and pray. And so what happens here is you can get some really bad habits, where you're not doing well. And so you've got to train yourself to be active and stay in shape. When you're preaching a lot, every day, going to the gym or something, it's not necessarily the first thing on your mind because you're pretty tired. But when you don't go every day, then you should do some exercise to get your body in shape, and so you can persevere in the work. Because ultimately, it's your physical body that's going to push yourself out to where you're going to preach, so that you can exert the spiritual effort. So we laid the foundation and try to introduce the idea of exercise. We had a gentleman, Justin Goss, who's the headmaster of the local Christian school, Candies Creek Academy, a naval commander who's retired. He's been in here for 1 year. He actually served for several years in the naval office in the Congress, that worked with the House members. And so we've got quite a bit of experience. He definitely brought to bear naval-type military calisthenics. We carried sandbags. We carried a water jug. We not just carried them around. We ran with them. We did relays with them. We did a fire, we took the sandbag and passed it to each other and then kept the line moving. We get push-up position and pull the sandbag in front of us and keep moving. Plus we did sit-ups and planks, that kind of stuff. Also a couple of military exercises. We ran across a big field. We divided up into twos and ran about 10 yards and got down like somebody was shooting at us, and then got back up and did it again. That was very taxing physically. And then we actually carried, on each day, or a couple of days, we would carry one of our group across the field. So basically carrying a man like he was wounded across the field. People are really heavy when they're that weight. And that was a good team building exercise. So we were worn out, and he really introduced some good ideas to do exactly what I was hoping he would do. So I told several people, I think this is really, really interesting. When you listen to these military guys, Jocko Willink's on there, he's a SEAL. There's lots of other less known guys. They're Delta Rangers, I think is what they're called. And they start talking. They have this calm about their devotion to their work. And when you're a soldier and you're devoted to this work, I mean, you're putting yourself in a position to get killed. But they have this calm about the discipline they've encountered and engaged to do their work. I think this is really important. I'll just tell you this story too. I watched the soldier that flew the helicopter to get the Argentinian president. I think it was the Venezuelan president. He was at the State of the Union message back in February. And he stood up and he looked completely content, glad he was there. He had, of course, a typical military look on his face. I thought, what is it about those guys that they're really ready to go? They're ready to endure what comes their way. I think a lot of it comes when you make this commitment, a deep commitment to endure severe hardship. When you make that commitment in the heart, you can endure quite a bit. And Those guys have endured quite a bit, and they're completely relaxed and content with it. I said, that's what we're after. We're trying to get ourselves in a place where we make this immense commitment, spiritual commitment, that we make it and we get into it. I remember John MacArthur talking about this word called hupemone. I think that's the Greek word for getting up under the work. He was going through the first part of Revelation, talking about the letters to the churches. Getting under the work, getting into the work, committing yourself to the work instead of kind of half in, half out. And when you do that, you relax. You have this, I think, a calm comes on you because you're committed. You're not getting distracted. These kind of things. And so you see that in these soldiers. And so I was really after that level of commitment physically, and Justin got us there. So that was really good. And then we had Rick Light, Dr. Rick Light, former pastor at Eastern Heights Presbyterian Church. He has immense experience, both in pastoring, evangelizing, and ministering to people. So he took us through a Bible survey. He did exactly what I wanted. What does each book of the Bible say? And what do the prophets say? And what are the details of the covenants, the doctrines of Christ, the details of Jesus Christ? And of course, we asked him a lot of questions about his experience in leadership. That was fantastic. I think laying a foundation of the scriptures, this is a no-brainer, beginning a foundation from Genesis to Revelation, beginning to have an idea of what each book says, so then you can do other work with the foundation of the Bible on it, as opposed to starting up here like you have this or this or this is something you're trying to be expert. You need to be an expert in the Bible. What's the Bible say? And then start discussing other matters. Great job. The prayer ultimately boiled down to we splitting up in separate rooms and going out crying out to the Lord for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 3 times a day. At least twice a day by ourselves and one time as a group. And it worked great. Lord willing, we'll do it again, if not twice again, in this coming 12 months. It's a good plan, and it's what we want to do. We're going to do this with it. If you want to join SFOI as an evangelist, an official evangelist, the boot camp is a must, and then the Woodfield week is a second must. And so we want to get you in there and get you prepped. Also, we didn't necessarily do these things, but there are 2 other things we're going to do when we have guys in there. So we're going to get them practice preaching and then basically harass them, and also put them on the spot to recall what they learned the day before from the Bible. So that's the plan. We're going to try to have a really rigorous environment where people, if they come into the SFOI world to be an official evangelist, they're going to commit to this high level of discipline and get in there and be like a soldier for Christ. Obviously, Paul uses that language, and soldiers are really being disciplined in the work. Woodfield week, great week. Like normal, Heath Gusel teaching us Keep Your Finger in the Text, Expositor Preacher program, and then I was teaching with talking to Daniel Bissasso from Canada about transitioning into vocational evangelism, and those went well. Greek class went well. Also, Carlos Cicero, a PhD student at Southern Seminary. He works for Dr. Moeller, and he's a student of Dr. Robert Plummer, one of the top Greek teachers in the country. He did a great job teaching. So I think we'll probably add a couple more classes to our curriculum long term. But I'm not sure exactly what those are going to be. But we want to establish a simple yet concise evangelistic curriculum, really for evangelists working with us here long term. I think that's necessary, and it just makes it a lot easier than trying to jockey off and go to a seminary where they're really teaching you to be a pastor. We want to have an evangelism curriculum. This is geared exactly to evangelists. So that's what we're working on. So we may add a couple more classes in the next 12 months, but the Greek class, new addition, worked well, and so did the Keep Your Finger in the Text and everything else. So the boot camp, Woodfield week was outstanding. So praise the Lord for that. We're moving into now it's World Cup time until I think July 17th, and lots of preaching going on. If you're on Facebook, if you're not, if you go to, you should be able to go to Facebook.com/SFOI.org and see people's posts, being out there preaching, and see what's going on. A lot of good stuff going on. Diego and his friends Charlie in Mexico City, Will Dietrich and Fort Worth there, Arlington, Michael Rutherford, Adam Cutshaw in Vancouver, and some of Daniel Besasso's friends up in Toronto. So a lot of preaching going on well. So man, praise God for that. Lord willing, I'll be down at 2, the next, not today, but Saturday, and then the next 2 Miami games in Miami. So man, check the link get out there and preach at the games near you. July's coming up. 1, 2, 4 big events. Red, White, and Boom, July 3rd, Columbus, Ohio. A huge one-day event. If you're in the Columbus, Ohio area or want to drive and stay, hundreds of thousands of people there. It's going to be big. Second is MLB All-Star in Philadelphia, July 11 to 14. It's no cost if you can get there. Accommodations and transportation are taken care of. It should be big because we've got not only the 4 days of the All-Star festivities and the Fan Fest, but you've got America 250 in Philadelphia. All that Philadelphia means it's going to be a big time. July 17, 19, Music City Grand Prix again in Nashville, Tennessee, being Gonzalez leading that. Remember, Nashville's hosting the Super Bowl in 3 years. Atlanta, this year LA, then Atlanta. Is it then Vegas and Nashville? I think that's what it is. I think there's 1 year after Atlanta before we go to Nashville. So we're probably 1, 2, 3, 4 years from now we'll have Super Bowl. So this event is going to be really important as we get closer to the Super Bowl, laying a foundation to be there. So it's a good event. Tens of thousands of people in downtown Nashville. Nashville's busy anyway, so it should be a really good event. And then the Commonwealth Games. Come on, Commonwealth Games. There's 3 spots left. 10 days in Glasgow, Scotland. The people everywhere all the time. Anyway, then you throw in fans and athletes from 72 nations competing in the Commonwealth Games. It's going to be big time there. So check that out. Last one, Canal Days, run by Dan Sasso up in Canada. Another Niagara Falls type event. It's probably going to be a calm event with lots of people around. If you want to preach Christ to Canadians, Canal Days is where you want to be for sure. I think that might be the last Canadian event that we're going to participate in, except for the Grey Cup in November, which is in Calgary. So, friends, lots of opportunities out there, lots going on for sure. Do you have any prayer requests? You can send me here through the app or call or text me 423-724-7500, 423-724-7500. Friends, do you have any friends out there preaching? We'd love to plug them into what we're doing, let them get everybody else involved, excuse me, as well. And then I think that's really it right now. So look, check out the link below this video, see the links for the events I mentioned, and let me know if you can make it. And I think that's it for now. Hey, listen, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you in Scotland. Bye-bye.